coverage you can count on at 6 starts now.
Well, I was a little shocked since the general fund has funded the police department for 113 years in this town.
First at 6, Johnsonville Police Chief Ron Douglas becomes the latest chief in the PD to turn in his badge. Thanks for joining us at 6. I'm Adriana Lawrence. This comes after Johnsonville City Council rejected a request for a pay increase by the chief and his officers. News 13's Eric Cooper went to Johnsonville today and spoke with residents and the chief about the situation.
Johnsonville residents that I spoke with since learning that their police force turned in their resignations say that they are very concerned.
Our safety for our children and our elderly, as well as the community. We don't know who's going to help us in our time of need.
It was scary. I mean, we're all worried now that, you know, it's getting bad anyway. But with everybody nobody patrolling, and who are we going to call? I mean, it's really disheartening.
After requesting and being denied an $8,000 raise each by City Council, Chief Ron Douglas resigned along with his 2 officers. But Florence County Sheriff T.J. Joyce says they will not be leaving law enforcement.
I think they've got a lot of financial issues going on. So 2 of the officers resigned. They put in with us, and Chief Douglas is going to work there until the 16th of July to more or less work out. I'm going to bring those over to this office when they leave.
The combined salaries for all 3 was $180,000. Douglas says he hoped the requested $24,000 could come from vacant positions in the department. He told me council declined the request but voted to keep the police department open, meaning they would still be employed but without raises.
It was a little disappointing, but I kind of anticipated it. And like I say, that was an 11th hour attempt for me to save the team here and save the police department as we know it, because that would not match the salaries of other law enforcement agencies either. My officers would still have been a little below other agencies, so it wasn't like we were trying to outpay anybody. I was trying to get them enough that they would be happy and stay here for their career.
Sheriff T.J. Joyce says Johnsonville residents should know his deputies will be there if needed.
Well, we have to cover any shortage that any of the municipalities may have. It's the responsibility of the sheriff's office for law enforcement for this whole county. It's 804 square miles.
Chief Douglas says the 16th would have been his 24th year here in Johnsonville, but instead he's looking forward to serving the people of Florence County in another capacity. Reporting in Johnsonville, Eric Cooper, News 13.
Eric, thank you. A Conway man faces a murder charge accused of assaulting a woman and hitting her with a rubber mallet in what police call a domestic incident. Police arrested Omar McLeod yesterday in connection with the death of Shontavius Manor at her home on 6th Avenue in Conway. The Conway Fire Department says crews found the 44-year-old's body yesterday morning after responding for a medical call. According to the arrest warrant, McLeod slapped and pushed Manor down, causing a head injury, then hit her with the mallet. McLeod is in jail tonight without bond. The Georgetown County Sheriff's Office says one man faces a murder charge in connection with a deadly shooting. Officials say Malik Boyd is accused of shooting 2 men last night on Farr Avenue in Andrews. One man died. We do not know the other man's condition tonight. Authorities say Boyd also faces attempted murder and gun charges. There is no word on what led up to the shooting. The 27-year-old is in jail without bond. Well, beach renourishment along the Grand Strand has moved south to Surfside Beach in Garden City. While pumping sand onto the shore is a big part of the project, crews still need to lock in that work. News 13's Morgan Baker spoke with an official from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers about the finishing touches to the renourishment.
Crews are continuing work on the section of beach between Pine Avenue and Yaupon Drive here in Garden City as part of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers beach renourishment. Beach renourishment along the Grand Strand has entered its final phase as crews place sand in Surfside Beach in Garden City, excluding the southern part of Garden City, which is part of Georgetown County. Once sand placement is complete, an official with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, Dylan Burnell, says crews will begin sand tilling and grading along with dune fencing.
So what that does is it anchors in that sand So it allows the sand to, as it blows up and migrates up the beach, that dune fencing creates kind of a solid barrier for it to not latch onto, but for it to settle into, so that those dunes don't wash away or blow away the sand as easily.
Burnell says these final touches will not require any additional beach closures, so once sand placement wraps up, the entire beach will be open to enjoy. According to Burnell, sand placement is expected to be done by the end of August, barring any potential mechanical or weather delays. Reporting in Garden City, Morgan Baker, News 13.
Morgan, thank you. A live look now at tonight's Atlantic Beach Town Council meeting. Josephine Isom will be sworn in as mayor, ending a years-long dispute that started with the 2023 mayoral election. The South Carolina Supreme Court recently ruled Isom the winner after she challenged the results. And you'll find all of our coverage on this story at WBTW.com. Happening tomorrow, the Myrtle Beach Planning Commission will continue discussions about a possible ordinance that would limit capacity for new bars along Ocean Boulevard. The proposal would limit occupancy for any new bar or nightclub on Ocean Boulevard to 150 people. Bars and restaurants licensed as of May 12th would not be impacted. City leaders say the goal is to make Myrtle Beach more family-friendly. City Council would have the final say. Some parts of Horry County are seeing some of the lowest reports of rain on record. One nursery farm owner Longs showed News 13's Gabby Jonas how he's working to protect his plants from the ongoing drought and extreme heat.
With this prolonged heat that we've had, this heat wave, it's been brutal. We use drip lines or these little spaghetti tubes that come in, and it works off of a timer.
Since the start of the drought, Alan Little says his roughly 4-decade-old farm has lost roughly 100 trees and 300 plants from the lack of water coming into the Longs area, showing me just how important his drip line irrigation system is that's used on his crepe myrtle trees and other plants throughout his farm.
The water pumps, they will pump 120 gallons a minute, and it's been running for 6 weeks. You need water for photosynthesis. You need moisture in that leaf. You need moisture for that tree to grow, to put out new sprouts, to make buds, to produce blooms. If you don't water these trees within 48 hours, some of them start dying.
But those discarded trees will find a new use. Little says they will eventually be turned into compost, which will help trees like these apple and pear trees thrive in years to come.
The water that is in there now is mostly groundwater that has seeped into the pond.
Suffering from drought from years past, Little says the new pond he dug just 2 months ago will eventually serve as an emergency water source for potential future droughts once a new irrigation system is installed. But for now, he says his drip lines and also repotting trees will help them stay alive.
The best thing that we could do is put that plant in a bigger container, so the environment for that root system is in a container that won't go through as much stress, not as much fluctuations, giving the new roots a little more space to grow.
And though times like these may be difficult, he says his faith, and of course a little bit of rain, helps guide him to get through it.
Everything's up to God on what happens with the environment, and so you have to accept it. You have to be happy what you do. I'm happy with what I do. Yeah, I couldn't ask for a better job.
Reporting in Longs, Gabby Jonas, News 13.
Well, arguably the biggest match in U.S. men's soccer history is just hours away as the 16th ranked team gets ready to take on 9th ranked Belgium in the round of 16 in the World Cup. Kickoff is at 8 o'clock at the home of the NFL Seattle Seahawks. The Stars and Stripes beat Australia 2-0 in the same stadium to earn a spot in the knockout round. Today we spoke with one PD coach about soccer fever heating up in our area.
Yeah, it's extremely popular now. I've seen more talk about soccer in the last 3 weeks than I probably have in the last 10 years. I mean, everybody seems to be jumping on this bandwagon, and we hope this momentum carries us along, through for the next several years.
And then there's the matter of U.S. striker Folarin Balogun getting to play after FIFA changed his red card suspension to a 1-year probation. Chris will dig into that controversy a little later in sports. Next on News 13, a reminder that potentially dangerous wildlife can be just outside your door. One local woman captured this video of a large black bear in her backyard. And Frank has your most accurate forecast when News 13's local coverage you can count on continues.